The artist recreates the world.
Welcome to The Artist Recreates the World. I'm with Huck. Hi. Oh, let me have some of those the products there. So here we go. See, this is some hard work. Any words about this particular piece? Why you did this?
Well, this was one of my first pieces called Black Gold. It came at a time in my life where I was having a lot of inner conflict because I grew up in the church, and around this time is when I was leaving the church when I created this piece. Oh my gosh, it was beautiful in the camera. But yes, this is my baby right here. I take it everywhere. And then this is my computer bag. It's very heavy.
No, I got it. Yeah, that's cool. We don't drop computers. Not on this show. We don't drop computers on this show.
And her name is Street Fighter Chic. She's based off of my love for video games, and in particular anime, Japanese video games. And I made her a black woman so she would look like people like me, because usually the characters are Japanese.
That's hot. Both of those are hot.
Thank you.
It's a great start. So, Huck, I saw your work on Instagram. I don't remember when I met you before, but I know when I saw those. Let's talk about those circles in your work first. Okay. Yeah, start with the circles.
So I always put circles into my work, not just my paintings and my illustrations, but also my photography.
Oh, I like that. When I turn, you turn.
Yeah.
She said,
that was not fun.
Right.
But the circles in my work represent the life cycle, and it also is a remembrance for me that everything comes full circle. So while I might go through struggles now, it is pretty much I'm struggling to get to my higher successes. And it's also a way to encourage me when I feel like I'm never going to get out of these hard times that we as humans go through naturally. So it is a representation of the life cycle.
And talk about that, the name that you have on Instagram, the Unicorn
Yes.
Black Unicorn. What is it?
Oh, so I call myself an artistic black unicorn. And that's because with unicorns, as we know, they're colorful, they're really vibrant creatures. They're never just one color. And I like to say that represents me because I do a lot of different things, and I hate putting myself into a singular box. Like, I hate saying I'm an artist because I feel like that doesn't cover half of what I do, because I'm not just an artist, I'm a creator. And not only that, I am also like an advocate for body positivity, and I'm a photographer, I'm an editor. I do so much that it would be me limiting myself to say I'm just an artist.
And so, on that note, I have to say there is an artist who created a music video or a song, Aziza, the musician, who I recorded some years ago. And she has a video, I can't remember the YouTube video, but in there she talks about in the Dogon tribe, because we're getting ready to go to religion next. Oh. In the Dogon tribe, oh, I love this. This thing gave me goosebumps. In the Dogon tribe, there's no name for artists. The closest name for artists in the Dogon tribe, and I don't know if you know, my followers, if you know the Dogon tribe, the African Dogon tribe, but do the research. It's a great find. The closest word for artists is spirit.
Oh, that hit me immediately. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so we say that because spirit is so discombobulated, but the power of spirit is what's in our art.
It cannot be contained.
Right. So then we're gonna go right into our religious systems and how it has confused the heck out of us and tied us up. And I'll start because I don't know if many people know. I was raised in a Pentecostal church, Church of God in Christ. I still can say it. And more recently, I have what they call apostolic succession, where I have succession through the laying on of hands through a bishop that goes back to the Apostle Peter, 67 AD. Okay, so yeah, it's serious. And
yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll talk about that another time. But I say all that because we need to talk about our religious systems and why we don't have artists. Why aren't artists represented in the church?
Yes.
Your thoughts, Huck?
Well, for me,
go get up, girl. She got a smile. Move this camera or that one.
Okay. For me to answer this question, I have to kind of go back to my childhood. I was pretty much raised in a Christian household, more particularly Church of Christ. And I don't know how many of you know this, but in the Church of Christ, everything is a sin. And pretty much what Church of Christ is saying is that everyone that's not in the Church of Christ specifically under that title is going to hell. So anybody that's not specifically Church of Christ, and that's whether you're Church of God, Baptist, Pentecostal, this pretty much says anything that's not Church of Christ, you're going to hell immediately just by your name being wrong. So my father was a preacher in the Church of Christ, and he pretty much conditioned me and my younger brother from birth, him and my mom both. And they had us believing a lot of things that I never fully understood. I questioned a lot. You know, if you question anything in religion, you become an enemy kind of to the religion. And then when I became more and more interested in art and got more in depth with it, I noticed the church kind of trying to sabotage my career. It's really ironic because they felt that I couldn't create art unless it was for them. And then they got to the point where anytime I created art that I was trying to do for them, they had a problem with it. They never wanted to.
Tell me about this part.
Oh yeah, so it gets deep. Like they never wanted to pay me. Honestly, my art takes hours, days, months, sometimes years to complete. They never wanted to pay me. And then they went as far as to slander me to my parents. These are other people in the church. They slandered me to my parents, and my parents kind of listened to them, and they weren't fully supportive of me after that. And then I got more into figure painting, figure drawing, and that's painting nude figures. So they called me a sinner after that and said if I didn't stop painting this stuff, I was going to hell. It was a lot of crazy stuff. So around the age of 19, I decided to leave the church. Yes.
Bless you, my
So at the age of 19, I started to leave the church. Ironically, around that same time, honestly, my family kind of fell apart. My parents ended up splitting up. My dad left the church. It was a lot of crazy stuff. So I took that as a sign that I made the right decision.
I want to ask you, what was it inside you that drove you to say, I got to do this? What was driving you? Was it simply the art? I mean, because there are a lot of artists, they deal with this. They deal with this turmoil.
Yes.
And because we have religious systems that are so strong and really are the foundation of this particular culture, we have that fight amongst ourselves, what's in our mind, what we're being taught, and then the strong urge from our soul to do the art. So what could you articulate what kind of really pushed you? If you can, if not, it's okay.
Oh no,
it's going to be therapeutic for more than you.
Yes.
It's going to be therapeutic because other people are dealing with this whole idea that I'm Catholic or I'm Christian and my church tells me I should do this and I want to make sure that I'm following God and following the mandates. And then yet, when you sit down with a pen or a pencil, or you sit down and you do your photography, you realize there's something so strong. And I don't want to lose your thought.
Oh no.
But when I was in the church and I started playing, I told some people I wanted to be an artist. They're like, what? I want to be an artist. Go ahead.
It's always the reaction. When it came to my art, I've been doing it my whole life. And as a child, I was bullied, and my art was my escape. As I got older, it became more of my escape, and not just from like the things I dealt with in school and things of that nature, but also my escape from my religious turmoil. Because when you're continuously being taught something and being told that if you don't believe something, you're automatically going to hell, you grow up believing that. It messes with your mind, and it makes you think that I have to choose between what I love within my soul and what I can't live without, and if I want to save my soul. And that's a really bad battle for a child to have to go through, let alone an adult. So when it came down to my art, I pretty much said, what can I not live without? And I cannot live without my art.
Like my
art.
Hold on. We got to start there. No, I just quickly right there. Y'all understand that?
Yeah.
Can you just say that again? Because what I love about the artists is they always give these truths.
Yes.
I cannot live without my art. I mean, that's like almost a sacrament. It's like almost a meditation.
Yes.
I cannot live without my art. You feel that? I mean, I felt that.
Oh yeah, I feel it on a daily basis. Right now I'm not working a 9 to 5, a job outside of my art. So my art is pretty much what keeps me alive every day. There have been times where I wanted to quit because I felt like I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, or I wasn't succeeding as fast as I thought I should. But every time I tried to quit, it was impossible. Like, it pulled me back in, like, immediately.
Oh.
Yes. Like, immediately pulled me back in. So it's impossible for an artist to just automatically stop based off of what everybody is telling them, but ignoring their soul and what their soul is telling them. So
come on.
Yeah, that's what it came down to.
Come on.
Yes. I mean, I feel like our purpose in this life is to be happy anyway. Like, we're not meant to live miserably. And for an artist to have to quit their art, that's what they're doing. They're choosing to get rid of their happiness and what brings them life.